So, Allie,
Yes,
what kind of response are you hearing? What's the chatter there on the street for a lot of these supporters who've been waiting all day long to find out this decision?
Yeah, I have to say, I know Dick was referencing how you can really hear from inside the courtroom the people outside. I can't imagine they really heard anything out here. The large crowd of people, I'm not sure if the news hasn't gotten to them yet. There hasn't been much of a reaction out here, very much at all, that we've been seeing. But I want to talk a little bit about the judge's comments when he was giving that sentence, because he really had us waiting, for quite a while on the edge of our seats as the judge was talking before he actually imposed that 50-month sentence. He said that he reminded Combs that he is being sentenced for the Mann Act, which is transporting for acts of prostitution, and not the sex trafficking charges for which he was acquitted back in July. But he said even though he's not being sentenced for those sex trafficking charges, the judge is still required to take into consideration the nature and the circumstance of the offense and the history and the characteristics of the defendant. And this whole day was about the history and characteristics of the defendants, the defense trying to paint him as someone with a long history of accomplishments as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, as a philanthropist. And the judge acknowledged that he is impressed with Combs's history, as well as what he's been doing the past year in prison, which is running a class for some of his fellow inmates in that prison on entrepreneurship, on business and life skills. But he said he still has to acknowledge that that does not wipe away the crimes that he has committed, and said that that undoubtedly Combs abused women physically and emotionally with his money and power, women, he said, who relied on him and who loved and trusted him. And the judge said that he rejected the defense's attempt to characterize some of what happened in those freak-offs as just sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and said that he has done irreparable damage to those women. And so he said that in saying, as the prosecution was trying to paint during today, that Combs was unrepentant, that's what they were trying to paint him as, the judge said that there gave some credit to that, gave some merit to that, saying that after that video of him beating Cassie in the California hotel went public, he physically abused the second victim in this case, Jane, as well, showing that he had not in some ways been repentant for those actions. Now, after he gave that 15-month sentence, the judge then spoke directly or addressed Cassie Ventura, his ex-girlfriend, and Jane directly, thanking them for coming forward and for being brave enough to speak out, saying that they gave light to what has happened. They stood up to the powerful, and they also gave a voice to other victims of domestic violence. And then he turned to Combs, and he addressed Combs and said that while he acknowledges that he is in a dark place right now, clearly in a dark place, he then pointed to all the letters of support that Combs had received, all the character testimonials that they had submitted on behalf of him today from people that he had worked with in the past, from his family members, as well as some of his fellow inmates. And the judge said that those letters show that there are people that still love and care about you. So he really spoke to all sides. It kind of speaks to that attempt in a way to strike a balance with the four-year sentence of somewhere in the middle of what the one side wanted, which was 11 years, versus the other side, which was 14 months there. Dick and Jessica.
Bauman, who's live outside the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Allie, thank you.
Sean Diddy Combs sentenced to 50 months in prison for the 2 Mann Act violation charges, and much less than the prosecution wanted, much more than his team wanted. Thank you for watching this special report on the sentencing of Sean Diddy Combs.
CBS News New York at 5 begins right now.
This is CBS News New York.
Right now at 5, we are following 2 major breaking stories here at 5 o'clock. Hamas says it is ready to agree to parts of a Gaza peace plan and release Israeli hostages, but major sticking points remain.
Sean Diddy Combs sentenced to more than 4 years in prison. A judge hands down the punishment after the music mogul pleaded for leniency in court.